Boom. Okay, Small X Talks. This is episode 5. We are here with Mikey. And if you pull this a little bit closer, just so I can look into your eyes, that would be a little bit better. Thank you, man, for
my pleasure
coming and doing this. So I want to talk kind of about your life and, you know, like, did you grow up here in Arizona?
Born and raised, yeah.
Okay.
I've lived in a couple other places, but I was born in St. Joe's on June 16th of 1990.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. So I was born in 91. But before we do that, I want to talk about your trip to Japan, because that's something I'm like super interested
I feel like I'm some kind of cultural ambassador, and I am not, but I can definitely tell you some stories about the trip and some experiences and tips, even, if you will.
Hell yeah. Okay. So what is that your first major trip that you've done outside of the country?
I just have to say, when I was growing up, my parents my dad really had a really unique, he was basically like an investor, I guess. We always kind of made jokes that he always like was doing stuff with like the garbage business in like New York. So we kind of joked he was a mobster when we were growing up. He just always had weird things he was doing. And they owned a messaging business, kind of a courier, if you will.
Okay.
So that we had the opportunity to kind of leave whenever they wanted. They did not have to. They didn't have an office. You know what I'm saying? Like they could. He worked out of home. And my mom,
that's awesome,
because he was, making so much money, she didn't have to work at all. So she was just in charge of us. So even from the young age of like, I don't even know, probably when I was still in diapers, like we would go on cross country road trips every summer. You know, when we weren't in school. So. I mean, I've been to 48 states out of 50. Only 2 haven't been to are Hawaii and Alaska, and I think that's only because there's no direct road between the United States and those places.
Damn, you did that many road trips?
Yeah. We drove to Maine and back. It was not like flights or anything like that. It was just road trips. So you see all the nitty gritty and all the plain views in between as well.
That's awesome.
So it wasn't like my first major trip. I went to Europe the year before this, and I went to Mongolia when I was in the Peace Corps. But that's not necessarily, it's not a trip per se. You know, that's work, that's service. Like you're not like out there like hanging out and
laying on the beach drinking like mojitos and shit like that.
No, that's hard work out there. Yeah.
Wow. I want to talk about that too, but can we talk about Japan before that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
So ever since I was like a kid, it's just a nation that's always interested me. It's always been very, kind of exotic and different. I mean, there's still like people living their daily lives, but just everything about it was just so fascinating to me as a kid.
Yeah.
So I've wanted to go there since I was probably like 5 or 7.
Wow.
I'm not even sure what started. I think it was maybe like watching Dragon Ball Z or something as a kid, and being like, well, who made this? Like, where is this from?
Yeah.
And then it just kind of grew from there of being like, well, what's daily life like? Like, what's their cuisine like? And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really cool finally, within the past like month, to finally go out there and accomplish like a life dream. Like that was like a bucket list item, you know?
Hell yeah.
It was awesome. So I went with my sister, my youngest sister actually, because I have 4 siblings, and she just turned 22 in the past 2 weeks or so. But went with her, and we went for about 11 days total.
That's awesome.
It was such a blast.
How long of a flight is that to get over there? You got to LAX or?
Yeah. So my mom, she works now. She works for Southwest Airlines.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I always fly Southwest.
I love Southwest.
Yeah,
baby.
Southwest.
Keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? Keep it in the family.
Damn.
So she works Southwest, and so when I was younger, I could just go whenever I wanted to. I would fly standby.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
And then when I turned, I think it was like 25 or something like that. They kind of. Or something like that, some age. It's been a while. They kick you off of it. You have to use their buddy passes now. She gets like 4 of those for each financial quarter.
Okay.
So now she kind of reserves them for me because I still go and travel around a lot.
That's badass.
And do things like that.
But they don't fly to Japan, right?
No. But they do fly to LAX.
Yeah. Okay.
And flights, if you take like a flight at LAX compared to Phoenix, you're usually saving yourself a stopover and about like $200 or something like that.
Okay.
But of course, I mean, for me, that's very unique. Other people, you still have to like get to LAX with driving or whatever it is. So
yeah,
we got really lucky.
That's awesome.
You got an $800 round trip ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. And,
on what airline?
That was Singapore Airlines.
Okay.
Super comfortable, actually. We flew economy. We loved it. Really nice service. It's very like Asian Airlines, man. They're just so awesome.
Really?
Oh my god, the service is great. The cleanliness is amazing. The food's like, whatever. It's economy, but it was all right. I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah, better than nothing.
What, better than what?
Better than nothing at all.
Better than
or fucking peanuts.
Sure.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, I can only have so many peanuts.
So that's how long the flight was? 12 hours?
I think it was about 12 hours, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 12 or 13. When you fly back, it's quicker. I'm not sure why that is. If it's just the turning of the
headwind or something?
I know.
Or a tailwind?
I have no idea, but thank God.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you sleep like on the plane?
I can't sleep on this plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you like going crazy then?
No, just because I'm like used to that. I'm used to that kind of thing. When I lived in Mongolia, actually, I lived in this town. It was called Arhangai. It was a really pretty town. It had like mountains and forest and lakes and even like a hot spring outside of town.
Wow.
But it was like the exact opposite of like 90% of the rest of like where my other people, like other Americans, were living at.
Okay.
It's a very like flat country, so they'd go outside. It would just be like flat lands.
Okay.
As far as the eye could see.
Yeah,
so I like hit the lottery in terms of that. But the main point is that between that town and the main city, Ulaanbaatar, it was like a 13-hour bus ride.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you're like out there. You're like you're on your own.
I had to do that trip like 2 or 3 times in the matter of like 8 months. So at this point, you can't really.
You're used to just.
You can't bother me with travel. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so where did you flew out of LAX? Where did you fly into?
I flew into Narita. There's 2 major airports. Narita is it's like an hour, basically 2 hours outside of Tokyo, and then Haneda, I believe, is like 30 minutes into Tokyo. It's a lot quicker, but it's also more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I work at a local restaurant, so I flew into Narita.
Yeah. So then you have to you like cab it or like I don't know what do they have Uber there or something like that?
Japan, baby, dude. They got all these.
What, you're on a bicycle, the back of a bicycle?
No. just like the amount of convenience in the country is insane. They have this like train that'll get you there in like 45 minutes, something like that. I mean, if you drove,
high speed,
it could be like 2 hours. Yeah, it's not one of the bullet trains that the country's famous for, but it is like a high speed train that's like very few stops actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So we spent 11 days, I think. We spent the first 4 in Tokyo, another 4 in Kyoto, 2 days in Osaka, and then one day we went to a hot spring town outside of Tokyo. It's called Hakone. Ooh. Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah.
So would you just kind of like chill there and like relax? And...
More or less, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
Yeah. We actually didn't spend enough time there. But it's your first trip. You're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You can't be angry about it.
So did you guys have like definite planned out like, hey, this is
God,
we have really okay, nice.
No. Yeah, there were definitely some reservations made. For like restaurants or museums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because some of those can sell out months ahead of time because Japanese people who live there want to go to these things too.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, I kept it like maybe like every like 2 days planned, like just like one major event. Not like the whole day. It wasn't like minute to minute. Like, okay, then we got to be on this train. I was like,
I don't like that.
I'd kill myself. It'd be the worst trip ever. So it was like maybe 30% planned and 70% just kind of. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome. Wow,
it was a blast.
So when you first arrived, like what are the things that stand out the most about just like the way it is there? Obviously, I know it's like a bigger, like if you were in the city, it's more people or whatever. But I mean, was there anything like culturally that was like super like interesting or weird as far as different to how things are here or life?
So when I think like mega city, because Tokyo is a mega city.
How big is that?
God, I think it's the most populated city in the world.
Really? Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, and
damn,
it's sort of like New York in that New York has divided neighborhoods, and when you're in one or the other. The difference between like Hell's Kitchen and like the East Side and such, and like in between Brooklyn, and like there's a big cultural difference and like just also geographic difference. Whereas Phoenix, like you're in Phoenix.
Yeah.
People try and ask me that kind of stuff about Phoenix, like, what neighborhood I am. And I'm like, I don't know. These are your cross streets. Get the
Yeah.
Fuck. Phoenix or Tokyo is definitely that way, where they have like, dozens of different neighborhoods, each with their own really cool appeal. And it just stretches out as far as the eye can see.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. It's just skyscrapers, just miles into the distance.
That's crazy.
One of my favorite things we did is we went to the hotel from Lost in Translation.
Okay.
You seen that film?
A long time ago, yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah. I love that. We went to the bar. It's in the Park Hyatt, and it's like right in the middle of Tokyo, next to like their kind of government buildings.
Okay.
It has the most incredible view. It's like 360. You kind of walk around.
Really? Wow.
The bar itself is really cool. They have some pretty good cocktails there, and I'm a big cocktail guy. So
yeah.
It is expensive. It's like we had like 3 drinks and it was like $60, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but you're paying for the experience. And
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you go over there, do you have to can you just use your credit card, or do you have to convert money, or how does that work?
Yeah. One thing I really liked and hated about hated is a strong word. Just inconvenient, I would say, was how cash heavy Japan is. There's no some places do take credit cards.
Okay.
But that's a growing thing. That's like very recent. It's kind of like
really
the same way that maybe like Apple Pay is here, or like somebody like, oh, they take Apple Pay, like that'd be convenient if I had that or if I set that up.
Yeah.
That's what like credit cards are like.
Really? Wow.
Japan. Yeah. I don't.
That's
feel
interesting.
Like a lot of places accept them. A lot of places will go more for cash. For less. So you always have to have cash when you go on there. You can't like go there and be like, oh, I'm broke. I'm gonna go to Tokyo. Like,
yeah.
I'll just put on my credit card because you could. I feel like you'd be missing out on a lot of stuff. Like museums won't take them. Most restaurants won't. If you go to like a fast food chain or like a really fine dining place,
yeah.
Especially because the fine dining place is going to be just so exorbitantly expensive. Like $400 for dinner for one person.
Wow.
Maybe you're getting like the meal of a lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's cash heavy for sure.
That's so interesting because you would think, Japan, and they're so technologically advanced. You think everything would be like me. Like I haven't carried cash for years.
Right.
I just have a debit card. So that's crazy. That's interesting that they're still like super reliant on like physical money. That's,
just cold hard cash is.
That's badass though, because it's like, I don't know. I mean,
I
don't know. I wonder why they do that.
It's a very like weird parallel to be like probably the most convenient city in the world for every like small day transactions, like getting somewhere, eating at a restaurant. There's like little vending machines to buy your food from, and you can all these like small cool conveniences. But then like it's like cash. Like the credit cards are kind of more convenient because you don't have to like fill it with bills and change.
Yeah.
It's just like swipe it, you're good. But yeah.
So what was like the conversion rate as far as like
it's
dollars
great.
to
it's not
whatever.
Like it's not like Thailand where you're going there and like beers are like $2.
Yeah,
It's actually, I think it's like pretty much one for one or like one for like 0.8. It's like it's yen, and 100 yen. Actually, I think it's like 110 yen is like $1.
Okay.
So you're kind of getting like 10 cents or 8 cents for every dollar you spend, if that makes any kind of sense.
Okay.
So it's
extra. You're getting
in our advantage.
Okay.
It's in our advantage.
So what do you do that when you get in at the airport? Is that when?
That's something about the convenience thing is that ATMs are everywhere. So you just go in, you can throw your debit card in, you withdraw like $200.
Oh shit! Okay.
Good to go.
Yeah, that's awesome then. Okay, I thought it was like some big deal where you had to go to like a specific location right when you get in. You have to get this certain amount of money and.
No.
Okay, that's not bad then.
The convenience stores out there.
Yeah.
We have like Quick Trip and Circle K locally here.
Yeah.
Do you like Quick Trip? Like, I know this is like a weird question. Like, I have like a favorite.
I don't have any specific like love or hate about it. I mean, it's a fucking. I only go to gas stations for gas.
Yeah,
I don't go there for like to go in and like,
That's funny.
Buy bubble gum or shit like that.
Maybe it's just like something about my childhood because like.
Really?
I feel like my dad would always be like, as soon as I learned to drive, or even before that, whenever like, when I was a kid, we'd go. He'd pick us all up. We'd go drive home, and he'd like stop at like a liquor store, not to get liquor, but just because they sell candies and sodas and all that.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't drink at all when we were kids.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Just like he always stopped at this one liquor store. It's funny because I remember one day in school, someone asked me like, what does your dad do every Friday after he picks you up? He's like, we go to the liquor store.
Oh,
like,
shit.
All these little kids here, and the teachers
They're like, oh, fuck.
See this weird
This poor child.
Yeah.
His father beats him.
Yeah, they're just looking at my dad with a sketchy eye every time he picks me up.
Damn.
No, it's just like a little joke or whatever. So I think because of that, like, convenience stores have like a certain like appeal to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I look for like, oh, this one's better than the other. So like I love Quick Trip. Like I don't even have a gas car. I have an electric car.
Do you really?
Yeah. So
shit. What do you have?
Nissan Leaf.
Damn. This guy's saving the planet over here.
Don't say that, dude. That car's a piece of shit.
Is it really?
I love it, but it's a piece of shit.
I want an electric vehicle so bad, but it's like there's nothing out there that. So I have a Honda Ridgeline.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it.
Yeah,
it's like
great.
an
It's one of those
awesome
little kind of mini SUV kind
yeah.
of car.
Well, it's a truck, so it's got like a flatbed
really?
in the
Nice.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I would totally get an electric vehicle, but it's like they're all besides Tesla. I feel like they're all fucking like hideous looking. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I like the look of Teslas, but this is my thing with electric cars.
They look like sharks to me.
Yeah, but I hate how on the inside there's that giant fucking screen.
Oh, I love that.
Do you really?
Yeah.
See, okay, to me, it's like I stare at screens all day long. I stare at a phone or a computer screen or a fucking TV. So it's like, it would be so badass if they made an electric car where it was like, you know how like 911s are super like sparse on the inside? Like there's just like a few knobs and shit like that, but there's 911s?
not.
Yeah, like a Porsche 911?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. They're super. It's like very.
I don't bother researching things I'll never afford.
I'm into cars. Hey, you never know. Fuck. But it's very like minimalistic on the inside. So it's like I love that because it's like I feel like that I don't know. Anyways, that's like my thing with Teslas. Like I love the looks of them, but it's like I hate the fucking yeah. I don't like the screen thing on the inside.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I love those cars.
So the Leaf though, you're not like
super
impressed
I feel
with
like it's just like a.
Looks like an egg.
It's like your dog, but your dog's an idiot, you know? Or like it's just like your dog only will obey commands, or it's kind of like it shits on the carpet. You're like, God damn! But you love the dog, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it does things. There's like, son of a bitch.
Is it what just as far as like reliability?
No, it's a very super reliable car, but just like
Nissan.
Yeah, how do I say this? It's just like for someone like me who likes to like, I do love to drive. And I like to travel. It's just like as soon as like it's great like when you're going street to street, like you know you're on local streets and going to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I like lived in Peoria and I was like working in Scottsdale, oh my god, I would
terrible.
It'd be awful. That car, it takes so long to charge.
Oh really?
You know.
What's the range?
Well, it's getting older now, so it's getting worse.
Really?
Yeah, like the other week the battery with the auxiliary battery failed. So it cost me like $300 to replace that.
How old is it?
I think it was 2015. So I guess technically that means
not that old at all.
Well, does that mean like 2015 means it's actually 2014?
Yeah, but still 4 years, 5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, it has like 40,000 miles on it now. So
that's nothing.
I don't know, man. It's my first
That's
electric
still
car,
like a new car for most people. Fuck. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing is I have had no maintenance fees since I've owned it. I've had it for 2 years.
There's no oil changes.
No oil changes. Yeah. There's no gas. There's nothing like that. So if you think about it, you're going to refill gas. It's like $20-$30, you know, every 2 weeks or so. You're changing your oil like once every, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. That's another like $50. So if you add it up, like it's a fair deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fair deal.
Yeah, especially like I said, I have a Honda, so it's like even though you got to do oil changes on it, it's not like there's a lot like fucking Honda's a Honda, like it's gonna run forever. But if you have like a BMW or Mercedes, like I used to work at a Mercedes dealership.
Oh really?
Those people who, if you lease a Mercedes, you're fucking fine because you only have it during the best part of its life. But the people who like buy used ones or oh man, those people get fucked.
I know,
and maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, crazy.
Mercedes, and it's just like
they fall apart.
Yeah, just everything stops working. Blinkers, fuck it, no way. Like it's like I'm surprised the gas pedal works at some point. You know,
fuck.
Those things are pieces of shit after the years, dude. They don't.
Yeah, that's why again back to the Japan thing. I love
Japanese cars.
They make the best shit. Like when they do something, like they do it right. Like it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the record, like I fully endorse Nissan Leaf. Like I like this car.
They're gonna contact you and be like,
"Don't ever buy our cars."
They might send you a new one, man.
Oh man, one day, who knows?
You never know if you talk enough shit about
Let's
it.
talk about Tesla now.
Okay, can we go back to Japan?
Yeah, let's go back to Japan.
Okay, so what did you notice about the people there? Like, were they afraid of you because you're so large?
No, I mean, like, it's
intimidating?
Tokyo, you know, it's like, you got a shitload of foreigners living there, you know?
Oh,
People,
really?
And
Okay.
it's just like, there's so many visitors there, too. So it's like, I mean, you just see people
They're
everywhere.
used to tourists.
Even if it's like, it's white people, black people, Indian people, like a lot of people from India come over to visit there. Chinese and Korean, too. Japan's a popular place to visit, you know? It holds a lot of mystique for, like, other countries, too, like in the same way that America views it. No, there's like very few places I went to where was I like the only foreigner there. Like there's always someone else around. It's just a popular place to live and travel now too. Mm-hmm. One cool little experience I did have was I was walking to a whiskey distillery, Yamazaki awesome. Distillery. It was so cool. It's the oldest whiskey distillery in Japan, but that makes it sound like it's really old. It's actually less than like 100 years old. I think it was built in the 1920s. But Japanese whiskey is like super popular nowadays.
Really?
Like, it's just hard to find even for like bars and restaurants. It's just incredibly popular because it's been winning international awards for like, you know,
really?
best whiskey of the year, all these kind of things.
Yeah, because that's like more traditionally an American thing, right? Like whiskey, right?
Yeah,
like...
for sure. I think the guy who made it, he kind of studied in Scotland, I think, but he made whiskey. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so I was walking over to this whiskey distillery, and there's these like group of little kids walking by, just these adorable, like, you know, little, like on a little field trip. They're like wearing these little matching outfits, and there's like these yellow bucket hats. I don't know what the deal with the bucket hats is, but all these kids in like preschool, elementary school wear these little yellow hats. You know,
that's interesting.
Stop.
What? Yeah, man.
Got audio going?
This is so much. I can't wait though until people start like commenting on these and like talking shit. It's gonna be hilarious.
You guys are D-bag.
This guy's a fucking moron. Okay. So we left.
Direct quote. You heard it.
We left off at, I think, the distillery. Right?
Oh yeah. So just walking to the distillery, and all these little these kids were on their way to
the bucket hats.
Yeah, the bucket hats.
Right, yeah.
And there's like, it was just on this road by myself. You know, it was like kind of early morning because my tour was at like 9:30 in the morning. I don't know why I booked it for that early. I was very positive about how not hungover I would be. But I was watching this, and these little kids are walking by. They're like, "Hi, good morning," and I was just like, "Oh, my heart."
Super cute.
It was just so cute.
Yeah.
You're 27?
Yeah, 27. Yeah.
Right. Are you like?
Do I want kids? No.
It happened like in the past like month or so. This is such a weird fucking story.
Yeah. I
was driving by the Phoenix Art Museum. Okay. And they had a poster that said "Free Family Sundays," right? Oh, and I was like, I don't know why the fuck I thought this for the record. I was like, I should get a fake family and go in and get in the museum for free. Scammed them. And then I was like, wait, what if I just had like a real family with like a real woman and then like a real child? And usually my response would be vomit. You know, that's gross. But I was like, oh God, I think I might want that now.
You know, the way I feel about it is, thankfully there's 7 billion fucking people on this planet, so I don't have to have a child, you know? Everybody else has kind of got that handle.
Oh yeah, I would much rather adopt. Yeah.
But even, I mean, like for just me personally, like I just know that I like kids. I like being around kids. But I just, for me personally, I think at least like right now, as far as like what I want my lifestyle to be like I want to be able to travel. Oh yeah. Like I don't know that that's like something that's like, having kids is like a fucking huge like life changing.
Your life changes in every way. I mean, not that I know, neither of us knows,
but it's like for you, like you couldn't just get up and go to like fucking Japan or you know, like to me that's something, at least like right now, that's something that, you know, I like having the freedom to do whatever I want. Really.
My dad did it right. My dad got married. He was 39.
Really?
Yeah. So he kind of like did like, I think
later.
Right. I think that's how I would do it. I would not be interested in it until I was like 35 at least, you know, because there's just so much more things I still want to go see and do.
Yeah. I think that's smart because like older generations, we've talked about this before. I've talked about this before with other people, but it was kind of like you were expected to get married young, and then you have, you know, whatever, like 4 or 5 kids. You have a big family, and that was kind of just like what everybody did in America. But I think that's totally changing, and you don't necessarily have to do that anymore. Or, you know, I think for a lot of young people too, they're holding off because economically it's like a different time now. So
broke.
People, millennials are
Student
fucking
loans,
have no money. So it's like,
can't afford a place to live.
Yeah, it's smart not to have kids, you know, for that reason. It's a good decision. So, yeah, man, you should do it though.
No. 35 at the earliest.
You should do it. Then you could get into, like, you know, I think like IHOP, they have discounts on Sundays. You get some free pancakes, stuff like that.
They still have the free pancake day, so I'll just take advantage of that.
Fuck. So in Japan, because I've seen a lot of like stuff. I was just watching something last night. There's this series on Netflix. I think it's called like Cheating Death or something like that. But each episode is like something different about, like, you know, whatever, like vitamins or like people's relationships or like social media or some shit like that. But the one I watched last night, he was in Japan, and the episode was all about like relationships. And they were talking about in Japan, millennials in Japan, like they're so used to being like just in their own little world on their laptop and disconnected. Like it's a huge issue there. Like young people aren't having relationships, and like young people aren't even fucking like interacting with each other there. So did you notice anything weird about just like culturally there, or no?
I mean, I've seen the same thing. Like, I've read articles too that, like, you know, they're not having children. The birth rate is like in super decline. Like, even the government's getting involved to be like host like dating events. Like not like the national government, but like prefecturally or like, and like the local government. They're like, we got to get these people to like
start having
have sex.
sex.
Like, we're gonna have kids. Like, and it's cute. It's actually creating an economic problem now with labor shortage. You know, but it's just such a ethnically not monogamous, but just like singular, right? I mean, like, I think over 90% of the country is ethnically Japanese.
Okay.
I mean, like, America, I don't even know. Like, we have, you know, everything.
There's a mix, depending
I mean,
on where you are.
Huge mix.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not gonna, you know, go into like Japanese issues that I don't fully understand. One of them, but no, I didn't really notice. I mean, I saw people walking around with kids,
doing their thing.
Yeah, a lot of people work, man. They
a lot, like crazy there.
Like Monday to Friday, I saw everyone wearing suits like just all day. You know, like, it's like I don't feel like I see that many people even wearing suits in Phoenix locally between work and stuff like that. It's much more relaxed. But it was just a full suit, like, you know, coat, pants, and tie, everything. Yeah,
super corporate world. Yeah, I've seen things there too where like people in their culture, you know, success and that type of thing, that's very important. So it's like I've seen things where people will fucking work themselves to death, where it's like they're so invested in their career, and that's fucking crazy to me.
I heard something about some guy, like American guy living in Japan. He's like, some of my coworkers bring like sleeping bags into the office. Like,
what the fuck?
Project starts. Like, that's insane. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I work a lot. Like, I work 7 days a week. You know.
Do you really?
Yeah, with both of my jobs. But I mean, to me, I work that way because, in a weird way, it gives me freedom to do the things I want to do. Like, you know, go to Japan and other travel things, and, you know, live outside my parents' house. And so it takes a lot of effort, you know. But it gives me like the things I want and how I want to do them. So, you know, at least it's on my terms, I guess, rather than someone else's. You know, because I could quit the job and just be like, well, move back with my parents or find a cheaper place to live or something. You know?
Well, that's what I did. I mean, I moved in here with my dad a few months ago, and it's like it's the same thing for me. It's like I've worked a ton of different jobs, you know, all in whatever the service industry or hospitality and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, I understand that it takes time to, you know, whatever, fall into your passion or your career or whatever it is. But it's like, I find it hard for me personally to work like full time and the stress of paying for rent and stuff like that, and still have the energy and motivation to be like creative. Like I feel like that's hard to fucking do.
Yeah, especially because you're giving, like, you're not working in a job that's like towards your creative passions, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
like you're doing something else.
It's so draining.
Like you'd be working like a retail store like 40 hours, and you're like, oh, I got to spend like another 30 hours this week trying to like paint or do your podcast or film or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That would be.
It's like a fucking soul sucking, like, that's why I feel like a lot of people have a hard time getting out of like whatever situation there is because it's just so expensive to to live, like rent, especially for young people, it's fucking expensive. So to be able to remain or maintain your fucking sanity, and I mean that's just hard to do, So
yeah, rent's a bitch, man.
Yeah. So would you ever consider living in a place like Japan?
I'm trying to.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to. I don't like to teach English. Like I did that in the P3.
You don't like to what?
Teach English.
Oh, teaching.
Which is always the automatic response you get. Like when you say,
just teach English.
Like teach English.
Yeah.
It's a fucking terrible job. I don't like
it
at all. I just don't.
Boring.
Know. I don't know what it is. It's just like I hate it. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. In the
you speak English though.
Yeah, I do. That's you catch on quick. I don't enjoy teaching it. It's just it's just. What
do you know? Like, have you found something that you're like, oh fuck, this is something that I could see myself trying to make a career out of?
Because I've been in hospitality for so long, and I enjoy hospitality.
Yeah.
But I'm not like I don't have any talent for like making things. Like. Either like a cocktail or like cooking. I cannot do those things. Like people can like put a dish together. Like, oh, we got these ingredients. I'm like, how do you make mac and cheese without a box of Kraft? What is this?
Yeah, I can't cook either.
Yeah, but watching like shows about like cooking challenges or documentaries about Bourdain.
That was my dude.
Stuff. I love some of the
Rest
recent
in
Netflix
peace.
stuff.
Rest in peace.
So there's a Netflix series like £1 Million Menu, which is really interesting. It's about food investing. It's like Shark Tanks for restaurants.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. The Final Table. It's about 24 like well qualified chefs in a cooking competition. So it wasn't like some rookie being like, "Oh, I burned my biscuits" or something like that. It was like professionals, like actually doing something. It was just very different caliber of shows.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
So you enjoy the culinary or restaurant industry then?
Yeah, I do. I do really enjoy it.
That's a hard industry though to be in, right? As far as if you're like opening a restaurant or like doing something.
Yeah.
Like the failure rate is
it's
pretty
huge.
high, right?
I think most places close within the first 2 years.
So
yeah, you really have to try and find an idea that's make it through. Because even places that they kind of usually say once you make it 5 years, like you're good.
You're kind of good, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen places close. Like a lot of places have been around for like 70 years. So there's no guarantee.
Yeah. Well, if you fall off, it's like you can't stop being good, right? Like here in Arizona, there's so many restaurants. So it's like you have so many options. So it's like if some place fucking sucks, if you go there, like it used to be good, and the past 2 times you go there, it sucks. It's like you're not going to go back, right? So you have to like maintain that level of whatever passion or whatever. That's why I feel like I've always wanted to like have my own coffee shop. And my goal is someday I want to have like an Amsterdam, like a where you go in and smoke some ganj and you sip on. That's what I want. I would love. There's nothing more that would make me happy than to go in every day and just have your own. But I feel like that's where people fuck it up if you're in that industry. Is you get like greedy, and you want to like have all these different locations, and then the level of like it's not your one like passionate spot anymore. Like it's about creating this whatever.
Yeah, you have to kind of grow it like organically, I guess, if you will. There's a restaurant I gotta give a shout out. It's my favorite restaurant.
What is it?
In
Here?
Phoenix.
Oh damn.
Glyban. Have you heard of it yet?
What is it?
Glyban. It's a Thai word. It means far from home, I guess.
Wow, no, I haven't heard of it.
It's 24th Street in Osborne.
Okay.
The best fucking
It's
food.
good?
Yeah, best fucking food, great service. My boy Max there, he's the bartender, makes a great cocktail. I gotta give a shout out, man. If you're gonna watch this, it's gonna be in Phoenix. It's gonna be like, oh, let's go check out that restaurant the guy talked about on that podcast.
Glyban?
Yeah, GLAIBAAN.
And it's Thai food?
Thai food.
Wow, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. It's good?
It's amazing, yeah. And like I was talking to them because they've been around for about a year or so, and they are just, I mean, it's just super successful. Like there's always people, there's always people in there. They, you know, they still get busy all the time. And I was like, so when are you guys gonna open the second location? They're like, I don't think we're going to. Like,
I love that.
Yeah. Where then they could have, you know, a lot of places would have seen that. They'd have been like, all right, let's go for it. You know, you know, let's get 5 more on the west side. And, you know, let's do it. You know, but you know, they're just kind of taking it slow, and you know, they may never do it. And if they do, I know they'll do it right, just because I have a lot of trust. In that. In the people who run that place, you know.
That's fucking awesome.
I love that place so goddamn much, seriously.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go there for sure.
Yeah, they're open today at 5 p.m.
Really? Oh shit. So what would you do if you're thinking about, or we're thinking about moving to Japan? Like what
I'd probably
would you get in the restaurant industry there? Or?
Yeah, I think I would try, especially because there's so many more tourists visiting all the time now, and I studied Japanese for like a month before I went.
Really? Wow.
And you know, people always say like, oh, you don't really have to learn languages nowadays when you travel because so many places speak English.
Yeah.
It's the biggest crock of bullshit.
Really? Oh, that's how I would be.
I don't give a shit if you're going to fucking England or Ireland. Fucking learn a second language, man.
Really?
Seriously, because when I was in Japan, I had to speak it every day, you know.
Wow.
I grew a lot, you know. I didn't like, you know, I wasn't studying when I was there, but it was crazy. I had to speak it all the time, you know, ordering restaurants, finding out where to go, reading signs. It was like, there's people who are walking around like who didn't speak a lick of that. I was like, how are you surviving?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Do they have a lot of signs that are like
partially
in English?
Yeah, they do. But just like when you're trying to communicate something with somebody, like, you know, like I'm lost, or where's, you know, you have to speak
They're
Japanese.
like this fucking asshole, this American asshole.
Relying on like English to get anything there it's not a great idea, I would say. Yeah. So I would definitely go for I think the hospitality job was out there. I was kind of reading. I guess there's like a loophole I think people take advantage of in like Japanese law, where if you study at a Japanese language school, you can work part-time there, and you kind of do that like indefinitely. I believe it's weird. It's a weird legal loophole. Yeah.
A language school as far as learning or teaching?
Learning Japanese, yeah. So if you're teaching English, I mean, you already have your visa. You're good to go. You can just do what you want.
That's weird.
But if you're studying at a Japanese language school, you can get like a job, like whatever your kind of target, if you will, or you're just kind of local restaurant kind of thing. And you can be allowed to be hired there by them. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, but it's like a part-time job, so you have to go there with savings. You're not going to go there and be like, oh, I'm
broke, here I am.
Yeah, like you have to, like, you know, 'cause you're not. I'm sure you're earning like Japanese like minimum wage or something close to it, so you're not like making money. You're not going to go back with like, oh, I saved all this. I have a savings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder do you know anything about like as far as the housing there? What's that like as far as like? No.
I met people who when I was there who were doing that thing. They were like studying in Japanese school, and they were working at the hostel, or they're working at like something similar to that. I think mostly it was hostels. Like, you know, you have like the French guy behind the desk, and he's like, you know, he's not fucking Japanese.
Yeah.
Like, how's he living here?
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna try for that within the next year. I think even if it's just for like a month, you know, that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, that's badass. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always find it interesting to just see how other like cities or countries organize their society. Like I was watching something the other day about Singapore, and they
I want to go there so bad.
Yeah, it looked crazy, but they provide housing or subsidize housing for every citizen in their country. So it's like they don't let people become homeless, basically.
Yeah.
So it's like that's something that they do to maintain. I mean, the city looked fucking like incredible. Like it looks super clean, and like that's something that I don't like about the U.S. is like I've been to New York, and like I would not want to go back. Or I mean, you could not pay me enough money to live in that fucking city. I mean, and they're so dirty and fucking nasty. It's like most cities I would not want to live in this country.
Right.
Major cities.
It was crazy about every city I went to. Osaka was probably the exception, but Tokyo and Kyoto, it's just crazy how clean they keep it. I mean, that's like the most populated city in the world. You can't even find a cigarette butt on the ground.
Really?
I saw one rat the entire time I was in Tokyo, and the rat was like ashamed. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." Like, he like, but like I was like, he was like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't clean up before you came." You know.
Damn.
Like,
Wow, so it's that clean.
Yeah, and it was like
Man,
we walked.
I would love it there then.
One of my favorite things was all these little alleyways in Tokyo. Like you just like, I'm just gonna take a right down this place. Usually, if in New York, like that'd be an invitation to get like stabbed and mugged, maybe both, you know. But in Tokyo, it's like a way to find like your favorite new restaurant or a cool little bar or something like that. I just loved little like crooks and crannies. Yeah, is that the phrase? Of Tokyo. You know, there's little hidden spots around the place. It was always it's always an adventure to just take a right and just like, let's see what's down this way.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
It is awesome. It's fun.
So what you mentioned you were in the Peace Corps. How did you get into that?
That is a long application process.
Really?
Yeah, it's a long story. Usually, I think I started applying
out of high school.
No, it wasn't that long.
Okay.
But about a year before I left, or so, maybe a year and a half before I left. You have to submit essays. You have to get some recommendations.
Essays.
I think you have to be a college grad or have equivalent working experience.
Yeah.
And then the interviews themselves can be like long.
Really?
Like even like longer than an episode of a podcast long. I'm talking
Jesus
like
Christ.
2 hours, 3 hours. But it's funny though, because usually just the interviewer just talking about themselves, which is kind of like, I feel like the joke with the Peace Corps interviews is just like the person they call you up and they're like, tell me about yourself. And you're like, this is it. And they're like, they talk about, okay, let me tell you about myself. And then they talk for like half an hour about like what their experience with the Peace Corps is like. And it's just kind of get back and forth like that. So. Damn.
Okay. So you went to Mongolia.
Yeah.
So you got accepted. They're like, okay, this guy's reasonably sane.
Well, they're wrong about that. They give you like a list of places you're qualified for.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember how, I think there was like 13 places to go or so. I mean, it depends on like what you're feeling. I was teaching English, right?
Okay.
There's not really a huge need for that. Really, that if you're teaching English, it's kind of like you're an American sort of like friendship ambassador. You know, you're there to kind of like set these places up to teach English better, but really it's kind of just making like building the relationship between America and that country.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's about like 8 countries or so or something like that I had to choose from. I can't remember most of them, but Mongolia was on the list, and the lady who was like trying to tell me like, you know, here's where you can go. She was like, Mongolia is rated as like the hardest place to serve. Like the people who leave the country say it was the most difficult like transition and life and everything. But they also rate it as like the number 1 in like satisfaction. Like they give like the experience like, you know, 5 out of 5. Like they really enjoyed the experience. It was just really tough.
Damn.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, screw it. Like let's go there. You know.
So how long were you there?
I didn't do the entire service, but I was there for about a little shorter than a year. Wow.
Okay. A while. Wow. So would you say like overall that was like a positive experience?
Yeah. It's kind of tough to say. You know, it was really challenging for me. And
why? Just a lifestyle change?
Yeah, just 100% lifestyle change. You know, like
how old were you?
I was 24, 25. I think I had my 25th birthday out there, so I think I was 24 when I left. I turned 25 out there. Just complete culture shock, you know, kind of like different language, different customs. I think I did every single thing you can do to insult a Mongolian person. I think like, and I didn't do it like, obviously I would never do it instinctually. I wouldn't do it on purpose. It was just, I did it just by complete accident. Like I usually have this habit of handing cards or, you know, like with like pinching between my 2 fingers like this, like, there's my credit card. Yeah. Or something. I remember I did that to my Mongolian teacher. I was like,
they don't like that?
Here's the cash. She's like, what are you doing? Wow. She's like, that's you should never do that to anybody. Really? I never found out why, but
is it offensive or something?
It's extremely offensive.
Huh, that's interesting.
And I'd get home from language school and I'd teach I'd get home from language school and I would just, you know, I would change to my comfortable clothes, like, you know, like my, you know, Nike shorts or whatever kind of thing. And I'd throw like my belt on the ground or whatever, and my brother would walk in my room and be like, hey, what's going on? Why is that belt on the ground? Wow. Like, I don't know. It's just on the ground. Fuck. You can't put hats and belts on the ground in Mongolia. It's just like they have a large reverence for hats and belts. The belts there can be really decorative, part of their,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just...
Who would have ever thought that?
Wow. I know. Well, yeah, I learned the hard way. Right? It was just like, it wasn't like a nice hat. It'd just be like a baseball cap. I'd just throw it on the ground. They'd be like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so it was cool.
That's weird.
There was just like so many interesting things about the food. There was actually surprisingly good. I think a lot of people talk shit about it.
There's a lot of meat heavy, isn't it?
Oh, extremely meat heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought it was really good. I had a actual Mongolian barbecue when I was out there.
Really?
It was so funny because I remember when the first time we cooked it. You have like one of those big milk canisters, you know, you see on a farm with the locking lids like that.
Okay, yeah.
And so they got it, and they showed up to cook it. Right? They had potatoes, carrots, onions, 2 bottles of vodka,
Jesus,
and a cardboard box full of like just random pieces of meat. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? You know, like,
what type of meat is this again?
yeah. So what they do first is they cook the rocks underground. We're so far away from Japan. I apologize.
No, dude, I don't.
Where they cook the rocks underground and get them hot, you know.
Okay.
And they throw everything in the canister together: the meat, potatoes, carrots, onions, and the vodka. And the vodka there. I mean, vodka is not exactly, I think, a favorite spirit in the United States. Like, mix it with something, it's tolerable. But by itself, I think it's
unless you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Out there, it's even worse, if you can imagine. It's like drinking nail polish remover.
Jesus.
It just burns all the hair in your nose.
Yeah.
You take a sip of that. And so they pour 2 bottles of that in there. And I'm just like, how is this going to taste good? And they lock it, you know, they kind of bury it a little bit. And it was one of the most delicious pieces of meat I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Oh my God. It was so tender and flavorful. Like this, because the meat is like, it showed up like in a cardboard box, but really it's fresh meat. You're not like, it's not being killed like somewhere in Nebraska and being shipped to Arizona. You know, it's not and being frozen and all that stuff. It's just like we killed like an hour or 2 ago.
That's awesome.
And now we're serving it. You know, so
wow, it's
very natural meat. Maybe like, you know, maybe not the cleanest per se, but it was tasty as shit.
Maybe what the vodka is for is to kill off some bacteria. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not there for flavor.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, what was the place you were living in like?
Yeah, it was really pretty. It was kind of like it was a big town for like travelers to come through on their way to kind of like other places of Mongolia, but just a really beautiful like nature town. But I'm not a big outdoors guy.
Really?
Either, yeah. So that was a big transition for me. It was like I'm always like city life, like hanging out, like bars, going out to eat, and I had to like completely change like what I did for fun. You know, like had to like go for hikes and ride bikes and shit. I was like,
bikes.
Who am I now? What is going on?
Fuck. Yeah, so did you enjoy that stuff? Did you end up like enjoying that type of lifestyle?
Yeah, I did. No, we had a lot of good times. Like, I remember one day we rode some bikes into a mountain and we like had a little barbecue. Like me and my 2 friends who were living there.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was actually like looking back on it. It was a really really cool experience. It's funny because I don't do that stuff anymore. Actually, I totally fell back into like my old kind of lifestyle. But I could go for a hike or something.
Yeah, that's something I definitely like romanticize. Is I would love to get to a point at some point in life where I have a place that I could like grow my own some food and like have some fucking chickens and like I'm all about that shit. I think that's like I love being connected with like nature and stuff like that.
Well, if anything they say about climate change is real, like your opportunity's coming, man.
Fuck.
5 to 10 years, you're gonna have all those chances. So don't worry.
I know that sketches me out. Is like I think about like all the time. Like if something major. Some major catastrophe happened, whether it's like economic or whatever in this country, and like the food supply got cut off, like how quickly the grocery stores would just be fucking empty and people would be like, okay, like what do we do now?
I have so much dread about the future sometimes, man.
Do you really?
It just kills
I feel like a lot of millennials do.
Yeah. Just like, I just think of things like climate change.
Yeah.
Automation.
It's not real though, you know that, right?
Oh my God. You're the worst person.
Tens of millions of vehicles driving around, hundreds of millions of vehicles driving around every day all over the planet, shooting fucking shit up in the atmosphere. That has no effect on anything, So that's obvious. It's totally obvious.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that people blame, how do I say this? Actually, developing nations actually inadvertently have a huge hand in climate change as well, because they're starting to add in these things like vehicles and single passenger vehicles to their daily routine, so that kind of adds into the problem as well. They're getting a better quality of life, but also adding to climate change at the same time. It's a bitch, man. It's a bitch.
Yeah, it's totally weird. Everything. That's what I think. I think about a lot, maybe too much. I think about just like things and like the reality of life is fucking like, it's awesome and it's fucking insane that like all the shit that's going on, you know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking like there's in Japan right now, there's a bunch of shit going on. Like Kim Jong's in North Korea right now, you know, getting his fucking dick yanked by, you know, 10 servants. Like the amount of shit that's going on all the time. Who's the guy
that hangs out with him, the basketball player? Who is that
fucking
guy?
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
God damn, he's a hero. Dude, okay, that's what I'm saying. The reality of things. You got Dennis Rodman over in fucking North Korea.
God, can you imagine like saying that in like 95 or something like that? I'd be like, yo, that guy with the crazy green hair plays for the Bulls. Like he's going to be like a huge international diplomat.
It's so bizarre. Everything is so bizarre. That's why I'm at the point now where it's just like, I just don't even give a fuck, you know? It's like, I think that's a great place to be though. Like if not be an asshole, but be in a place where, you know, you can like be yourself fully because it really doesn't fucking matter. I don't know.
I'm just ready for anything at this point.
Yeah?
I'm ready. I don't know what's going to happen.
Fuck. Do you vote? Are you into voting?
Yeah, I did vote. Yeah, I did mail-in ballot before I
really?
left. Yeah. So, yeah.
Are you into like, do you follow like the news and shit like that on a daily basis, or do you try to stay away from?
No, I try to like stay like, I guess, knowledgeable and, you know, activated, because it's just like, I don't want to be passive about it, because then it's just like, I don't know, you're just kind of adding to it, you know, just be kind of throw your hands up and be like, you can't do anything about this, like, fucking kidding me? Like, yeah, you got it. You can definitely do something about this, you know. It's the attitude that makes a difference, I think.
Yeah.
I don't like, I guess it's kind of like, I didn't really follow like local, I kind of still don't, I'm kind of just getting into it now, like local politics, until this whole thing with like, you know, like Trump and people being like, you know, the presidential election is important. It's super important. It's not, but there's so many more elections along the way that we kind of like, well, you know, whatever, you know, I'm trying to vote for the big ones, something like that. Like I think people are now realizing that the smaller ones for your kind of representatives in Congress and the Senate, those are also just as important. Those people pass bills too, you know. It's not,
if not more important, as far as because they probably affect your life.
Yeah,
you know,
very true.
More
very true.
So than the president or whatever is going on. Damn. So what do you like? Friends of yours or your siblings, like around, you know, your same age or whatever. How do they? Did you go to college? Like, how do they? I know, fuck, that's like double question. Did you go to college?
I did. Wish I didn't.
You did. You didn't graduate?
I did graduate.
Oh, you did?
I just got like this debt. I don't really use a degree at all.
Where'd you go?
I went to Marquette to start off. It's in Milwaukee.
Okay. And
then I finished at ASU.
And what was your degree in?
Educational studies. It's basically the communication of education.
Okay.
Like it's just like a pretty kind of useless degree. But I'd been in school for like 6 or 7 years, kind of biddling around, taking a class or two.
Yeah.
And eventually I was just like, I just need to graduate. You know, I need to like have the degree and like get out of here.
So what are I know you said your sister's 22. I don't know how old your other siblings are, but is she in college, or how do they feel about like?
Yeah, they went to community college. I think they got their AAs, you know, Associates in Arts or something, whatever it is.
That's probably smart just to do that.
My sister's trying to go to UCLA. Another sister for film school.
Oh wow.
My brother graduated ASU, and my other sister, I'm not sure if she graduated or not. She's kind of, I just don't know.
She's not into it?
I have no proof of her graduating school, if you will.
Okay. Are you guys not close?
Yeah, it just.
You just don't ask. Don't ask. Don't tell.
Yeah,
let's policy.
Let's put it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Let's just move on from that.
So how do they feel? Do you know how they feel about just as far as like, you know, prospects of the future or have they found something that they're like? I know you said the one is thinking about film, and I mean, what do they think about shit that's going on right now?
I don't know. I don't ever really ask. I think they're much more positive about it.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea why.
Huh.
Like, to me, there's just like there's really no reason to be positive, I guess. You know, for the future, but I mean, you kind of have to be, otherwise, you know, you just kill yourself or something.
Yeah, well, it's definitely more healthy probably to be an optimist.
Yeah.
Either an optimist or just totally ignorant of anything, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like when I see, because I did kind of the same thing as your one sister. When I was up in Seattle, I was going to community college, and I was thinking about getting into air traffic control.
Oh, cool.
Because that's what my uncle does, and I didn't end up totally loving that idea of a career. So when I came back here, I just went to Scottsdale Community College, and it's just, I was like, I'm like super stubborn. So it's like, if I'm not interested in something, I find it extremely difficult to like do something just for the sake of doing something. So it's like, I just feel like it's fucking, and especially now with like, the education costs and stuff, I feel like it's just a fucking scam, it's just like, it's so insane to me to like, your kid graduates from high school and you're going to be like, okay, here, go to this college and, take out whatever.
Yeah.
Potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of loans.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking retarded. It doesn't make any sense. And then they get out, and I feel like it's only going to keep getting worse and worse because you have all these people ASU's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are all these people going to be doing?
And I can't stand it. Like, I think I read about some college that actually guarantees students jobs.
Really?
When they graduate. I think it's somewhere in Europe, of course, because they're cool like that.
Fuck you.
But I just can't. Yeah, I don't like that idea that we kind of just like push people like, go to college, go do that, and like, is there going to be a job for me? I don't know, because I got the degree, like follow your passion or something like that. Like, saying like don't follow your passion. I'm just saying like, think critically. Like, is this the best thing for me to do? Like, am I wasting my time and money? Like, what's going to be?
But when you're that young, you have no, like most people when you're that young, like I had no idea who I was. So it's like there's so much pressure from whether it's your family or society. It's like people, that's just like what people do. So it's like most people don't question.
Yeah.
They don't question that because it's like they don't know who the fuck they are. So it's like that's what you do.
I mean, I went to this local private school, and
Brophy, right?
Right.
Brophy,
yeah, it's kind of seen as like the it school. Of Arizona, and like I was the worst student probably in my entire class, and I had pressure to go to college. Like, I was like, dude, I'm barely passing. Like, it's C's because, like, I don't really care. Like, I don't like going to school. Like, why? Yeah. I was like, but I guess I'm going to college. Like, everyone says go to college, so I'll go to college, But, like, what the fuck did I do it for? Like, I just got to pay this monthly payment now for the thing I'm not really using, like, at all, I would not do it again, 100%.
Really?
I would not go to college again. I would have taken, like, 5 years off and been like, okay, this is something I really want to do. But I'm 28 now. I've been out of high school for 10 years, and I don't necessarily have like that thing that I'm like, oh man, there's that passion or something like that.
Yeah.
I love working in restaurants, but it's not like I'm not in the cook, like making my own menu. I'm just kind of working for somebody else. And, I like the environment, I guess, more than anything else per se right now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I worked at, this was years ago. I worked in restaurants for just a year, but I worked at, Eddie V's at Scottsdale Quarter.
I think
it's like a steakhouse. And then I also worked at another place called Wild Fish. It was like a seafood, like steakhouse restaurant, but
sure. I
fucking loved it just because it's so much fun and it's like fast paced.
The environment of restaurants is fun if you're into that kind of thing where it's like go go go. The people you work with are fun. You say a lot of off color jokes, and but I think it's a fun place to work at.
Yeah, it's definitely not like a politically correct atmosphere, which is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why, because I've worked in jobs where it's like, that's why I can never work in the fucking corporate world. It's like it's like just. Soul sucking. It kills you. It's like fuck that. Fuck that big time.
Hanging out with like, because I'm kind of like a little bit of a comedian side with my friends.
Really?
Like, hanging out.
I could see you being a comedian.
No, I'm not like a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Just like I'm like the comedian archetype with like my friends or whatever.
Yeah.
The people who work in like those like kind of office jobs, white collar jobs, they've kind of like. I think they look at me like, whoa, I can't believe you just said that. I'm like, I'm not even being offensive right now. That's like, it's like the difference between offensive and inoffensive outside like the restaurant industry for jokes, stuff like that. For some people, it's just really funny.
Well, that's the weird thing. Like looking at my dad's generation and looking at like the baby boomers and people who have worked in the corporate world their whole life are just, they're like sad people when they get older. Like they're just, like, I don't know. There's something weird about being in that environment for that long. You don't even know like how to be a normal person. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like just something weird about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel bad for like my parents because it doesn't seem they have like any like I'm not sure this with your dad or your mom. They seem to have like any like adult friends, Like,
yeah, I see that big time.
Yeah, it's just like
they're
like,
miserable.
I don't get it. Like we're like, I mean, I'm not sure. Like we're young. Like who knows? Maybe in like 25 years, like what the fuck happened? Like. Yeah. But like I have like a good amount of friends. I've had people since I was like preschool. Or kindergarten. I've been friends with some of these people. Yeah. So I'm just weird. It's just like.
Well, I feel like people get into this. I don't know. It's so like you said. I definitely see that where the older generation, they don't have a lot of friends. and they're just fucking miserable. But they choose to stay in that misery. So it's like you can't help people like that. I mean, if you don't want to help yourself, then it's like, fuck, what can you do? You know? I don't know. It's definitely, but I feel like that's totally falling apart. That whole idea of like the corporate world and somebody working in that sort of environment. I feel like that's what's going on right now. Is it's just like totally not resonating at all with, you know, millennials and younger generation. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But even like you say the same thing about the whole friendship thing is like, you know, like here living in this house, and I know a lot of people that are the same way. Nobody knows their fucking neighbors. Like nobody knows the people they live around. Like it's so bizarre, man. It's super bizarre. You seen that
stand-up special? It's more of a skit by the guy who's talking about the doorbell, like 20 years ago and now.
No.
He's like, man, people used to ring your doorbell. You'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe you're in the neighborhood. So he like his, it's all animation. It's great because it's so perfect. He's like, what are you doing here? Like, we're in the neighborhood. We thought we'd stop by. Like, bring out some cake. Let's have, you know, like, let's get together. They'd be like, look at the kids. They're getting so big. And nowadays, it's like someone rings your doorbell, like, who the fuck is it? Like, you're just like,
you're hiding in your own home,
right?
So people don't see you.
Yeah, you have to like have like.
It's weird, man.
It was a weird thing about Mongolia. The Mongolia, like, one of the most interesting cultural aspects they had was people will show up to your house. Like, I mean, we're Americans, right? We lock our doors, right? And they tell us, like, as Americans, lock your doors to your gear, to your house, your apartment, whatever you're living in. Lock the doors because people will want to steal your shit because they're American. They know you have nicer stuff. Yeah. But Mongolians themselves don't really lock their doors. Really? Like, people will just barge in, like, literally, like, without knocking, just be like, yo, what up? What's going on?
Really?
What
the fuck?
Even if you're not home, you still don't lock your doors. So they'll just walk in and be like, "Oh, Mikey's not here. Well, I'll get myself some food and, you know, hang out for a while." And, you know,
what the fuck?
I swear
That's like Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's like Seinfeld, and it's just totally normal. It's just like
that's awesome.
Just because they know if they did the same thing to you, like if you did the same thing to them, you'd be just as welcome. Like to be like, "Yeah, help yourself to a snack. I'm not there," or whatever. Just
that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool. No one really did that to me because like. I was an American. They know that we like our space a bit, you know. But yeah, like we just like they can just stop at a random house in the middle of nowhere, and like people will be like, "Hey, come on in," like because people do that. People live a nomadic lifestyle in Mongolia. You'll see people like houses in the middle of nowhere because right now like they're raising their sheeps and like then they slaughter them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you see that thing recently? About that dude who I can't remember the name of the island that he went to, but it's like this.
Oh, the American guy who got killed outside the island in India.
They fucking speared the dude.
It was an uncontacted tribe, and I don't like. I'm
sure, like, fuck this.
People
guy.
warned him too. I thought it was like he was like, oh, you know, he had guides, and the guides were like, don't go to that place. Like they're uncontacted tribe, very primal, I guess, if you will. Or just, I mean, they're using bows and arrows. Good lord, you know. Yeah. They're old school.
Well, I guess I heard something after that I guess there has been people in the past. Like he wasn't the first one that's tried to go over there. Yeah. And there's people that have gone over there and tried to fuck with them, I guess, or they've gone over there and maybe potentially introduce some like sickness. So I think they said that they're maybe now more weary of people because of that. They're like, these people are fucking coming over here and just bringing, you know.
So they're not like totally unaware of like the outside world.
There's been people that have gone over there before, you know, but that shit's crazy. Damn. Okay, so to totally flip
go ahead.
That conversation, how do you feel about like how technology affects your life, right? Like, do you have Facebook? Are you involved in social media and shit like that?
I'm on it all, Facebook, Instagram.
Really? You're on Instagram?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I just usually like
take pictures of your face.
No,
like, here I am.
I don't post any. I posted a couple pictures from Japan.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
But even then, I'm just like, I guess I do more to follow. Like, you know, like when I was in Japan, it was cool to be like. I met people like, oh, are you on Instagram? Okay, cool. Let me follow you. And we would like talk that way. And like, so actually I met a couple people, like one girl from Australia, a couple from New York, and a guy who worked at the hostel, this Japanese guy. Like that's my way of keeping in contact with them on this specific platform. Okay. So because of that, like I won't delete it just because it has like those friends on there. And they're like, oh, we don't have Facebook. We don't use that. So I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be my way of keeping in touch with you. You know?
Yeah.
So I didn't initially get it for that reason. I just got it because everyone gets one, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on them though, you know.
Have you used like?
I hate Snapchat and the
yeah,
other
I
ones.
don't use that shit.
Yeah,
Have you used like dating apps and stuff like that?
Yeah, I met an ex-girlfriend that way.
Really?
We went out for a couple months, and she was really nice, and wish her the best.
Really? Wow, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
You're a nice guy. So you don't use them anymore? Or you still, is that something?
No,
you
I
would
don't use them anymore because I feel like nowadays like I've been meeting people just like I go out a lot. Like I'm not like sitting at home being like, you know, like why don't I meet anybody? And like I just sit at home, you know. I'm like out like doing stuff like when I'm not at work, like I'm out eating or out drinking or whatever, going to events. So I meet people just enough to be like, yeah, like, you know, you seem interested, let's go on some dates, and if it works, it works out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely more fulfilling.
Are you using them at all? Or
no. Yeah, I've never. Like I said, the last guy that was on here, Alex, we talked about it, and like when Tinder first came out, like I got it for like a week just to see what it was. Yeah. Just because it was so fucking hyped up, but I've never used. Like I get the same thing. I like meeting people in real life, you know. So, but yeah, it's just so bizarre, especially right now. If you're young, that's why I think it's so interesting. Just, you know, how people use technology and how people meet and things like that. Because like I go to coffee shops a lot, and you know, everybody's got headphones in and they're on a laptop, and occasionally like I'll strike up a conversation with people, but for the most part, people kind of just, you know, they do their own thing.
Because I have a friend, and that's almost exclusively how he meets people.
Really?
Yeah, I have this friend.
I feel like it's the best way.
He sits at that place on Central next to Bianco.
Lux?
Lux.
Yeah, I go there.
He sits at Lux.
Yeah.
If you've seen him, he's a Chinese guy. He's got a really big block head. His name's JJ. He's a really friendly guy.
I'm going to say hi if I ever
see him. You go.
JJ!
He's there all the fucking time.
Really?
And that's how he meets people. Like, he's like, I met like 4 or 5 friends from him. He's like, oh, I met this person at Lux or whatever. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
He has no shame though. I mean, he's like,
really?
Oh, he just doesn't give a fuck.
That's awesome.
He's just like nerdy to the point of you know, just ignorance. You know, so
that's cool though.
He's funny. Yeah, he's good. He's like one of my best friends. He's a good guy.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel that's again like for me. That's why I'd love to open like the coffee shop idea, the ganj and the coffee and tea because I don't drink. So it's like, I don't go to.
Oh, you don't drink at all?
No, I don't drink at all. So I don't go to bars. So it's hard. That's why I go to coffee shops so much because, you know, obviously bars and shit like night. That's another way that people meet each other or whatever. But I love. I
don't ever meet people at bars. I mean, I love to drink. Like, trust me, all right? I'm all about the alcohol.
Yeah.
I almost never meet people at bars. Well,
people are more there to have a good time normally, right? Than to meet people and whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just, to me, it's just not like a great. I mean, I have met people at bars, like one of the people I met in Tokyo. I'm not sure if you call that a bar there. That was it was in this little trailer, literally a trailer on top of this mountain in the hot spring town. I was having a beer, talking to people, and so we're like, oh, we're gonna be in Kyoto this some days. We should hang out. So that's an exception. And that was really cool. But I'm not like, people go out and like meet people to like, you know, either date or whatever at bars. I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that? Like, I just don't get that at all.
Yeah.
It just seems a weird environment to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're into like hookup culture and that's kind of like your thing, then I guess that, I don't know. I mean, that's not fulfilling to me. So that's why I love like asking young people how, you know, what they do and whether they're married or like whatever their lifestyle is. It's just super interesting.
Are you dating anybody or no?
No.
Seen anybody?
No, yeah.
No prospects?
Nobody. I should put my phone number out on here. No, I'm just fucking kidding. No, I find that's what I find it hard. Well, no, maybe that's not true. I find it hard not to be attracted to like a lot of different girls, but to just meet people that I'm like interested in like hanging out with, you know? I feel like that's more of a rare type thing. But I also don't right now, I don't have a traditional type job. So I feel like that's how a lot of people meet. I feel like too, is like they're meeting in the workplace or
through work friends.
Yeah. But I honestly don't really like want a relationship. I'm kind of weird like that. I don't know. I just, I really like doing my own thing. And like, I don't know. I just like doing my own shit.
Like having the freedom. I get it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's why, again, like back to the Japan thing, like I just think it's so interesting to see like how other cultures are, like what they do with the young people and shit like that. It's just it's a bizarre time because of technology. So, I don't know. I saw that when I was watching last night too, that thing on Japan and relationships. They had this fucking...
Was it Love and Sex?
No, it's called... I think like cheating death or something like that.
Oh, that's
but
what you said that earlier. Okay.
They have these cafes there. It showed where people bring their fucking cats.
Yeah.
And like their cats play with each other, and that's how, like all these like weird little like things that they do.
An indoor version of a dog park.
Yeah, it looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of animal cafes, like, but some of them just seem kind of cruel. Like there's like an owl cafe.
Really?
There's an otters cafe. I was like an otter cafe like in the middle of like a neighborhood. I'm like, this is not like we don't just pick up otters off the street here. Like this is not a natural environment for the otters to be.
Yeah, that's a weird animal.
And owls were like chained down and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, it's just some of them didn't seem alright. Some of them were like a dog cafe. I was like, yeah, sure, dogs. I mean,
yeah.
But some of the animals, I was like, you're just trying to go for something niche, and it doesn't seem like good for the animal to be in that kind of environment.
Super weird. Yeah. Damn.
I loved the bar culture in Japan though.
Really?
Yeah, it was just so intimate, you know. I mean, you can have like places like where it's a nightclub, you know, just like, you know, drink till you puke and, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved places like there's a big area in Tokyo in Shinjuku called Golden Guy, and it's full of like 200, 300 little bars. Each place only sits like 6 to 8 people or less.
That's cool.
Me and this Australian girl out there, we just had a blast. We went to 3 different bars. We went to the first one was this just kind of just a regular bar, you know, just a guy just turns from beer, like, okay, cool, I had a beer left. The second one was really interesting. It was this lady, she's an old lady, she's working there for 50 years or 40 years or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. The whole place is decorated with like roses, and she's playing jazz music.
What the fuck?
And champagne. And she walks in, she's like, oh my gosh, thank you for coming, take a seat. And she's very nice. And she's talking to us, and her regulars come in, and you can just see she like switches over to like her other personality, Japanese people. She's like, the fuck are you guys doing here? I'm like, oh,
really?
Dude.
That's awesome.
And she was speaking in Japanese. I don't understand, but you can just tell by body language and tone alone. She just has a whole different personality.
Yeah.
With these guys, it was so funny. And the last place we went to was a karaoke bar, and it was just full of foreigners. But like we just had a blast. There was this one drunk Japanese guy in the corner screaming along every once in a while.
Did they love karaoke like Chinese people?
Japanese like Chinese people.
Yeah, everything I've seen. Anytime I see like some travel show and they go to like China, they're always fucking doing karaoke.
Yeah, I think they may have gotten the love from Japan.
Oh, really?
Karaoke is a Japanese word.
Oh, fuck, I didn't even know that.
It means empty orchestra. Yeah.
What?
Empty orchestra.
Empty orchestra?
I don't know exactly how that translates.
That's what that means? Karaoke?
That's what karaoke means, yeah.
Oh, wow. Fuck, I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a lot of places. You have like karaoke bars, which will be like single setups of just like you can be in a booth by yourself. You can rent out a room for you and like a couple friends. Or this place I went to was like a bar, like just like a bar just doing karaoke. And that place was just like a blast. We stayed there till like 3 a.m.
That's fucking awesome.
I know I don't sing at all, but I was
when you're drunk, you do.
I was like drunk. I was feeling the energy, and like people just kept passing me the mic they'd be like, I can't sing the song by myself. I was like, give it to me. Let's do this.
Fuck. I saw an episode when Bourdain, when he was in Thailand, and they were at some karaoke bar, and it has like all the lady boys there.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because he was just like so uncomfortable with that being around them in that situation. But fuck yeah, that's why I feel like we could definitely learn more about like just how to like have more fun. And I don't know. I feel like we've lost that a little bit in this country. I don't know. With people, interacting with people. I don't know. Fuck. So, is there anything else crazy that you want to say about what's going on right now? Anything interesting? Anything about Kim Kardashian's ass or?
Oh God.
Justin Bieber.
Nothing. I actually haven't heard about them in a while, which is actually kind of nice.
Really?
You know? Yeah. I feel like the other news cycle is actually saying things that are actually important, so I haven't heard anything about them. So he could be dead for all I know. I don't.
Actually, I was gonna ask one thing. Just what type of are you in? Like, are you big into like music and stuff like that?
I'm more of a film guy.
Are you?
Yeah, I love film. I try to watch like a new movie like at least once a week or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Who's your favorite director?
Oh God, I don't know his name. He's this Korean guy.
Should be Tarantino. That's the right answer.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's the correct answer.
Right answer is what I say is the right answer. Damn. No, I mean I have a lot of favorite directors. More of like I guess I follow actors I guess more.
Okay.
Than directors, but there's this Korean director. I can't name his name. I'm not gonna try and pronounce it because I know I'll just mess it up and someone will make fun of me.
Yeah.
But every film he puts out is just a masterpiece. Man.
Really?
Yeah. He made this demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. I think that was like his first major motion picture, and he kind of like if you ever see like a major Korean actor, like if someone who's who's kind of crossing that brigade or something like that, there's a good chance he's been in one of their films.
Really?
Yeah, I love Korean film. Just what I'm trying to get across is you should watch Korean films.
I don't know anything about Korean films.
Just just Google a search for like best Korean films, and oh my god, you will have a blast, man.
Really?
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, I love Korean film. They're really interesting.
Why is that? Why just because they're the way they're put together? Or?
You ever seen Snowpiercer? No, you haven't seen Snowpiercer either.
No.
Oh, that was a good crossover one.
Stephanie knows.
Yeah, that was an amazing film. I don't know that it's something particular. It just but every time like a major like Korean film comes out, not major, but most Korean films I think you'll find just really good, like raw emotion. You know, they kind of really have a good job of displaying. I guess like the ugly side of life.
Okay.
I mean, you'll see some fucked up shit in a Korean film. You know, just like really messed up plots. I mean, but
really,
they're not messed up in like sense of like they're terrible. I mean, like I can't believe they just did that. They went that far. You know, but they just do a great job of displaying that and just keeping you engaged the entire time.
Yeah.
Love Korean film. It's awesome.
Fuck. All right. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, that's kind of like my niche thing. I really like it a lot.
Damn. You should get into film too.
I wish I could honestly. I wish I was more prepared. I could be like directors' names and recall film names a bit better. But,
I'll have to look into it.
Korean film is where it's at. You gotta check it out. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Anything crazy?
No. Go eat a Glyban. That's all I gotta say.
Glyban. All right. Hell yeah. Nice. Thank you, man, for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was interesting. Very interesting to talk to you and about all the shit. You've done a lot of shit for how old you are. So that's fucking awesome, man.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Glad to be here.
Sweet. Thank you.
Adios.